So we're here with Sonny down in Florida. He wants to talk about his new guitar.
Yeah, well, this is a new but an old project, and it's a prototype for a model I hope we get out one day. But it would be Fender's first ever all slide guitar for bottleneck style, and one of the main features is the neck profile, in particular the back shape, which is somewhat of a half of a teardrop shape. The idea was to make it really easy for the thumb to play octaves on the low side, like the big strings. And the set is it's offset and it's kind of off axis right here, so that we get an oval shape. Feels a bit flat for the thumb, which I like, but it goes into this kind of a runway here. And we wanted to bring the edge out as far as we could and have as much space there, because I like to be able to tuck the thumb on this position of the neck for vibrato, and it gives you more range to work with, I think, and it feels really great. So we brought this all the way over as far as we could, and it's got a bit of a sharp edge, which we rounded, made it really round down here to transition from smaller for the palm open down here up to the 5th fret, and it goes into the runway. And this is kind of inspired from the back of, like say, a lap slide with a square neck, but we rounded it to make it more comfortable to play this style. So I can really get the thumb behind it and get more energy, I think, and the position between the thumb and the slide to give more power behind the vibrato. And sometimes I'll use my elbow too.
Let me show the back of how you're doing that.
So.
Right, so you can give your thumb someplace to kind of rest a little more.
Yeah, it's a little farther over. Usually, especially with a soft V, which I love, it'll feel completely different. It's whatever you get used to and like, but I found that this really works well for that. It's a lot more versatile for me for playing chords or fretting behind the slide. And then single note lines. So your thumb moves really smooth and makes the transition to those different positions for the slide of the fretboard.
Cool. Is Fender putting it out?
I certainly hope so.
Okay, cool.
We've been working on it a long time, and I'm really excited about it. Yeah, we still got a lot of energy behind it.
And then while people gonna know what kind of strings you're using?
Yeah, these are Diodario's 13 through 56
with the wound G.
With the wound G. Yeah, I've always liked the sound of it, and they're pretty heavy, you know. And obviously, since this is set up for slide only, then you know, it's made for the heavier gauge.
Right, and the action is little.
It's really it'll pull it up with the
it's
for some relief. Yeah, but it's nothing crazy because you want to be able to fret behind and intonate. So if that note's got to intonate.
Yeah, you don't want it too high.
You can't get too high. You'll lose it, and if it's too low, it'll choke out. So it's got to be right in between. And then the other thing is, took a telly bridge plate, and the idea here was to, I got the idea to bolt this directly onto the trim block. So we didn't do away with the trim block for a stretch, because I always love the sound of the springs, and it seems to work. It took a while to figure out what made it work, because we had a few that didn't sound so good, and once we figured that out, I think it just gives more mass throughout this whole section. And I like the way it feels for the palm, like the muted stuff. It feels really good right there. And it just gives a little more of an edge on the top end too, like a telly we would expect. It doesn't really sound like a telly, and also.
But you're right against the body too. So the resonance of the springs too.
And that's really important that just sits on there and it's real tight and locks in. This is the DiMarzio DP 181, and these are two of the Fenders.
The noise
Michael Frank Brahms, yeah, they're
okay.
Noise single coils, and this is a couple that they worked on for me that I do like a lot, and also we've done some with a single coil in the bridge too. So that's something different to have a regular single coil, not a big telly pickup, which I love as well.
Yeah,
but
sure.
So that they all balance out, because I like to have unity gain more. If I'm flipping in and out of the pickups, I don't like to lose any level in the overall, the signal. One be super hot and the other not.
Yeah, one you can cool out.
So I like that continuity.
Okay, and then slide.
Yeah, the Dunlop, been doing this a long time. I've got tons of bottles at home. It's the 215, and I love these because it's just so exacting, so that when you're doing, you want that to really be in tune. And I love bottlenecks because the flare, I find you get a better vibrato.
Yeah.
It's more, I think that as it fans out, there's some physics involved there that it really helps. But it's harder to play in tune in the low notes if you make it multiple parts. So it's real useful for that because it's so straight, and they feel good. And I like for it to actually extend over my the finger on the pinky, because sometimes you're playing up here, and the melody's up here, but you want it to extend over, so the lower notes, if you're including that in part of the scheme of things.
All right. Cool.
And there you have it.
All right. Thanks, man.
St. Pete.
St. Pete's.